Hello and welcome to Tuner Tips by Todderbert. In front of us with a Tesmen. This is a TM-510. It's a smart digital true RMS multimeter. You can find this selling on Amazon for $9.99. Links below if you want to support the channel. Awesome. It's not bad to have a nice inexpensive multimeter on your bench, especially if you're just getting started out building circuits, radio kits, stuff in my Making Waves programs. Yeah, definitely nice. I'm actually going to use this to replace a Radio Shack one that I have, and I'll bring that out to show you. So here's the 510s box. There you go. Comes pretty simple, and they give you quite a bit for $10. For a price of a Happy Meal, you'll be pretty impressed. Let's take everything out of the box. Let's show you what you get. So in the box, we get, of course, user manual. Yay! We get the star of the show, the TM-510. There you go. Pretty compact. I like the size of it. We get the negative and positive leads, which are removable. Fantastic. And they also include a nice little Tesmen carrying case to put your multimeter in when you're in the field. Not bad. I don't know if I'll use it because I'll probably stay on my bench like this, but not bad. I'm liking that. So go ahead, we'll come back to the leads. All right, so I like to go over the manual for posterity. Here we go. Smart digital multimeter, in case I missed something. True RMS, 4,000 counts, the way it displays. And there's the support email. Nice. So as you can see here, it's 5 languages. We won't go through English, of course. There's our overview. I'm just going to try to open this up. Maybe you can get this full frame. I'm just going to go quickly. Electrical symbols, that's how it's marked on the device. And let's just make sure we can get that all in a frame. There you go. I'm just going to flip this pretty quickly. And if I miss something, boom, you can go back to it here. There are some specifications if you guys can read those. It runs on 2 AAA batteries, which they include 2 Duracells. Absolutely amazed that they included batteries and their name brand. Very cool. So there is your on-off. I make sure I didn't skip a page. Nope. Okay, good. Little battery indication. That's nice. So that little indicator will light up on the right there. Very handy to have. And there's a data hold button if you want to hold a setting. So yeah, I mean, that's a nice thing to have, data hold, being that's auto only. So it is a smart meter, so it's always on auto, which isn't a bad thing if you're just doing basic measurements. And I'll be using this to test my batteries for my radios. I'll be using this to test continuity on my circuits. I'll be using this to test resistance. So yeah, it's not a bad little device for basic measuring. It's not an amp meter, so it won't do amps. If you need one of those, you may have to upgrade. But otherwise, this does most tasks, no problem. I built many kits with this type of tester. And again, I'll show you that one in a moment. It's my Radio Shack one. And the reason why I'm replacing that one is it uses, I think, like 395s or LR44 batteries, those little button batteries for watches, and it can be kind of a pain. So I think we're done with the manual. Boom. Okay. So let's go to the tester. Go over dimensions real quick. We are 2 3/8 of an inch in width. We're 4 3/4 inches in height, and then we have a depth of 1 1/8 of an inch. That's with the case on. So for size comparison, since I'm a radio channel, I think I had a radio handy over here. There we go. CC Pocket in the house. As you can tell, it's not much bigger than a small portable radio. Awesome. It's a portable multimeter. Battery operated. Of course, we have a deck of cards. Iron Man. He is the man with the master plan. He loves to test his gear with Tesmen meters. When he can. He's Iron Man. Keep singing it, man. Don't give up. You get the idea. You know what? I just wing it. I have fun. So yeah, there it is. Deck of cards. Done. Wait. Done. When he says done, it's done. Okay. So yeah, let's go over features of the TM-510. So right away, as you can see, it has a removable flexible case. Awesome. Take it off, show you what it looks like without the case. So it's kind of like a vinyl type material. So here's the back side. We got LED on the back there. Pretty cool. We got our battery compartment. One screw. I'm not going to take it apart, but behind that screw, it's a little Phillips head, is the 2 AAA batteries. They probably didn't have to use a screw to hold it in there, but it's not a bad thing though. There you go. Keep a child safe. Pretty much. But yeah, put that back in there. But there's our case. Nice to have it to protect it. Rock on. So yeah, it uses the 2 AAA batteries included. Very a fan of that. Yeah, you got the LED on the back there, as you saw. The enclosure itself is plastic, and it's really solid. I'm pretty surprised for $9.99 of the build quality of this product. Let me kind of zoom it down a little bit, get a better look at it. There we go. Cool. And we'll do some testing with it too, so you can see how this thing works. So we have the NCV sensor area right here. This is where you put towards the AC line you're trying to detect. I think like in the wall, if you're looking for a run. This will be the area you're pointing to the AC power source, and it lights up and it buzzes saying if you're close and if you're right on it. So it's pretty basic. It doesn't give you a voltage reading, it just gives you the AC where it's at. So it's directional stuff. So yeah, neat little setup there. So you got that up on the top, non-contact voltage area. 4,000 count display with backlight. Yep, it has a backlight, so we turn this on, press hold the power button. And then, of course, you can turn the backlight on. There we go, looking good. So we have on the display, since we have the display up, we got this backlight. I'll turn this off. We have, actually, it makes it easier to read. Leave it on. But turn on the backlight. I mean, the LED backlight. So here we have the sleep function. So it'll turn off after 15 minutes. That's not bad. So if you forget, just leave that on. There's a way to disable that. I'll mention it in a little bit. So you have AC, DC, resistance, and continuity. It automatically detects where you're at whenever you're deciding to test. So yeah, liking that. And then of course, this button here, we got the 3 buttons. H is hold for your data hold. If you find something you measured, you want to hold that data and write it down. And then of course the NCV button, press and hold this, and it brings up the non-contact voltage. And of course it'll bring some AC line in. Let me bring an AC line and show you. Here's AC. And it is not, oh, there we go. So it's pretty much going to be right next to the line. And as you can see, as I touch it, it turns red. So you get the idea. So that's how that works. I don't know if I'll be using that much. It's just something different. Let's go back to normal mode. All right, cool. So those are those modes. Again, very simple. Again, long press on, long press off for the power. Of course, I showed you this turns the backlight on and off. And of course, if you press and hold, it turns on this back LED light. This is okay if you're working like in the garage and you're aiming down an engine compartment, but on a bench, it really serves no purpose. So we'll turn that off. We will turn the backlight off, turn the backlight back on, liking that. So down here, as you can see, we have the common wire and then the positive wire for our leads, which we're going to hook up right now. And we'll do some testing with this guy. Yeah. So again, these were measuring 34 inches from tip to the back jack here. So yeah, you get quite the distance. So 3 foot. Let me just unravel them off camera here. Yeah, so testing's real simple with this. They have pierce connections too. So what I mean by that is they got points. So you can pierce the wire if you have to get a reading. Don't recommend you do that, but you can, which is nice. So we're just going to go ahead and here's your little inputs, and they give you little dust covers too. Took them off already. So there you go, we plugged them in. Awesome. So continuity. There you go. You can see it's reading some resistance. There we are. Buzzer's pretty loud. Now, you can't control that, so it's unfortunate. I'm used to a little quieter one than that, but not too bad. Again, $9.99. I'm not going to complain. It's pretty cool. Still works well for me. Let's see. So you can disable the power off if you don't want the auto power off by pressing down the H button here, the whole button, while turning the power on. Just want to let you know you can. I'll show you that little feature. So we'll press down the H button, and while I'm holding that, I'm going to press power. And it disabled the auto power off feature. So, okay, no big deal. We'll just leave that on. Turn that screen light on. And over here is where the battery life indicator, if it starts to get low, will show up. And they mentioned that you get a few tests out of it when it's low, and then it turns the system off. So there you go. Did basic continuity. Let's go test something. So test a battery. So I got a battery here, and this is what 21700. And we'll just put the positive to negative, And it's going to read voltage 4.14. And of course, to keep things kosher here, I'm going to bring in another tester, higher quality, so you get an idea if it's reading properly. So this is what Extech True MRS. This is one that was pretty expensive. I think I paid like, I want to say $60 for it. Yeah, it was rather expensive, but it does amps too, which is nice. We'll turn this on to DC mode. We have its leads here as well. Let's see if we can't get a reading on this battery here on camera. These are hard to, let me just, this way. If I can get on camera here, there we go, 4.13. So that read at 4.14, so deviation of just a small amount. So there you go. That'll show it to you. Now this is not the one I'm replacing. The one I'm replacing is this older, old school Radio Shack jobber that I've had for probably 20 plus years. You guys probably have one yourselves on a desk somewhere. And it's just getting old. Waiting for these things to fall off. I mean, he's starting to corrode and everything. But it served me well over the years. I think I had this in the 90s, yeah. So, very cool. So that one's going bye-bye. And we're going to be using this one, definitely. So, yeah, what else can we test? Yeah, so you got that. You got your basic AA battery. Okay, we'll test the AA battery. Always fun. Let's test the AA. Just trying to stay on camera here. Let's see here. Just going to hold it in my hand. And it's 1.59. Don't know if I got a good reading on that. So I do on the bench while you guys watch. Always fun to do it this way. Here we go. And okay, cool. So that's what I'd be using it for. And then of course, it's auto. We're working on a project. Here's a radio I built. Say I hooked up to the FM antenna. I want to know if it's making continuity to that connection to the board. We just put this off the side. Bring our connections in here. We're going to test for continuity. So I'm going to place a lead on the FM antenna spot and the spot where it connects to the board. The trace over here. And we have continuity from the antenna to the PCB. So that's what you'd be using it for, to make sure your solder joints are good. So yeah, again, a great thing to have. And of course, for testing your batteries. Yeah, you got to have it for that. I mean, sure, you can get quicker testers for batteries, kind of like this here, but it doesn't give you any idea of voltage. It just gives you an idea, good, low. This is good for speed, but if you want more accuracy, you definitely want a multimeter. So, and I think these are kind of expensive. These aren't cheap. So yeah, why not get yourself one of these? Awesome. So yeah, I think we're pretty much covered it all here. So yeah, I want to give you some pluses on it. So yeah, pluses. So in final thoughts on this thing, pluses, you get a case. Boom. Love it. You get batteries included. Yep. Good build quality. Low price. Yeah, definitely awesome. Auto sensing, which I think is just, I don't know if I'd like that. There are testers out there where you set the range, you set where you want to be, and that's fine. If you need more hands-on, you want to make sure it's only in that mode. That might be the way to go for some people, but for those just starting out, this is perfectly fine for the basic stuff. And I recommend it for sure for $9.99. Again, price of a Happy Meal. My wife comes home with a Happy Meal and I ask her how much they cost nowadays. And yeah, she tells me, I'm like, whoa, because I don't eat that stuff. But yeah, definitely worthy of picking up. The backlight, again, is phenomenal. I don't have that on my cheaper Radio Shack one there that you saw, because it would just eat those little batteries up. And of course, you have that back LED, but I don't know if I'll use that or not. Those are bonuses. Minuses, like I mentioned, there's tons of other multimeters in the market and that offer direct setting modes. They do quite a bit. But for the cash, $9.99, this is the one to get. There are others for $9.99, and I don't know much about them. And I was recommending them just because they were cheap, they looked okay. But now that I've used this one, I'd recommend this, especially removable leads. Easy to use testing probes. Definitely a handy item to have on the bench. So there you go, the Tesmen TM-510. In a nutshell, it's worthy. Definitely. Thanks for watching, guys. yeah, if you want to see more multimeters and testing gear for your radio building needs, definitely subscribe with the bell icon, get notified of future reviews and comparisons, because maybe I'll compare this to other inexpensive multimeters and give you bonuses, cons, pros of the different brands. And 3, comment below what you think about the TM-510. Do you like the idea of just a simple automatic tester, or are you a fan of more of the set and go style? Okay, this one you have to set to DC. Now this has auto range, which is nice, where you can set the range with this button here, but you gotta do all this extra stuff. Yeah, this one runs on a 9-volt, I think, and pretty cumbersome. It's pretty bulky and everything else, but it's easy to read as well. So just bonuses. Let me know what you guys think. All right, guys, take care, and we'll see you in my next video.